Hey, so let's take a look at your life. Do you love what you're doing? Like genuinely, do you get up in the morning and love this? And if you don't, if you find yourself in a funky place, today we're gonna talk about the 5 things, well, pretty much that are signs that you should be doing something else. Because let's be honest, sometimes the thing we're doing is not the thing we should be doing. So let's dig into this today because we're gonna talk about these things, about kind of making these shifts even when you're not ready. So let's look at this. Number 1, when it comes to things that are telling you should be doing something new when you're not ready. Number 1 happens to be, well, the thought of it, like 60 hours of doing it makes you sick. Like think about it. If you gotta do something for 60 hours and it makes you sick, do you wanna do it? No, we don't wanna do any of that. I got a buddy, I'm not gonna lie, man. I got a lot of friends I love. And there's a conversation where he was like, hey, like how many hours a week do you spend doing your to-do? I was like, man, I do about 60 hours a week. He goes, oh. And I go, what? Oh, he goes, I can't imagine like working 60 hours. And I said this, I said, that tells me more about how you feel about your work than I feel about my work. Because I love what I do. Like, there's a difference there. So if you're doing something you don't like doing, and the thought of you doing 60 hours of it makes you sick, it is a sign it is time to do something new, whether you're ready or not. Because you pretty much get to endure that pain or change it up a little bit. And I'm telling you right now, if you have that feeling inside, it's a sign, don't do that thing. Number 2, it will make you less of the person you are, the person that love you. What I mean by this is if you're doing something that drains your soul and you come back home and you're less of dad, less of mom, less of husband, less of cousin, brother, sister, whatever it might be, if you're less of yourself, that's not a place you want to be because they're getting a portion of you and the thing you're doing is getting the bigger piece. And I'm telling you right now, the people in your life, they want all of you. And if you're doing something that pulls you from them, it is not the thing to do. Your kids, they need a strong, powerful you that comes home happy and enjoy. And if you are doing something that's robbing your joy, you have none to give your kids don't get the joy from you. I want my kids to want to come home for the holidays. If I'm in a funky mood all day long, when they turn 21, they're gonna be like, I don't wanna go home to dad, he's a poo butt, right? So you gotta find ways to get to that level of finding a space of understanding that you can't do something that robs the joy from you because you're robbing the people that love you, all right? Number 3, you won't feel incredibly excited when you win. It's a big sign. Like winning means different things in different capacities, right? Winning might be getting the contract. Winning might be making the sale. Winning might be hiring that person, right? Whatever it is you're doing, whatever your win is, if that win will not excite you, if you know that when you achieve it, or if you do achieve it, you don't feel accomplished, that's a big red flag. It's time to do something new because why would you want to work so hard towards something, get the W and go, it's all right. Like imagine if a sports team did all the work in the preseason and all the work in practice and all the game planning, won the game and goes, and then walk into the locker room. Be weird, right? That would suck. And some people are living life this way. And if you're living life this way, you need to make an adjustment now. And I know you might not be ready, but are you ready to look back on your life with regret? If you're not, it's time to make a change, right? So it's a big one. If you aren't gonna be excited when you win, it's time to change something. Now, here's one that most people don't pay attention to. A big sign is if the days and years run together. Now, for me, I have this thought that came to me from a conversation. I really love the way they framed it. Somebody told me that we need to have event horizons in our life. What that means is there must be moments where you can look back and go, oh yeah, that happened and that happened. I remember this trip and I did this whole thing. What happens is our brain, in fact, over time, it remembers in individual instinctual moments like these big spikes of energy and fun and trips, whatever it is. But if you're doing something that drains your soul, it's the same thing every day with no spikes. It is like a flat line for the heart, literally. So if you're doing something, it's a flat line to where it runs in. You're like, I don't know, I think last October we did this, and maybe a year ago we did this, and I don't know, 5 years ago, was it a year ago? If you're having that conversation in your head, that means you have been having a flat line of a life with no spikes that give you joy for winning and accomplishment and having fun. So you got to take a look at what you're doing and go, if I can't remember more individual pieces, if 5 years feels like one, then I'm wasting life with no moments to remember, no moments of joy, and this thing is robbing my life. I'm telling you, you can make a year feel like 5, but if your 5 feels like 1, it should be done. I tried to rhyme. I'm not a rapper, but it sounded good, right? Hey, all right, number 5, you feel FOMO for something you can't see. There's a day when you woke up, and when you woke up, you thought about something that spiked your heart. You don't know what it is. You can't quite yet put your finger on it, but that thing, it excites your heart a little bit. And that little bubble there, like there's something to it. If you feel that, if that is floating in the background and you're not listening to it, you just live in the same life, you know it's there, it's time to make a change. Because truthfully, you're going to wake up and it's just going to get louder and louder and more annoying. And then what it does, it leads to guilt for not taking action, and it leads to shame for not taking action. And this progression happens to all of us. If you have something in your heart that gives a little bit of a tug and you feel a fear of missing out for doing that thing, even if you don't know what it is, it's time to wake up. It's time to make an adjustment or a shift and head in the direction of that voice. Will it be scary? Yes. Will you know all the different things to do along the process? Absolutely not. But think about it. You're doing something now that when you started you weren't aware of. Repeat the same process, but with more experience. Those are your top 5 ways, which are top 5 signs that you should be doing something new, even if you don't feel ready yet.